You know him, you love him. He's a movie star, a pop culture legend, and honestly, a Playroom essential for over 70 years. But what if I told you the Mr. Potato Head we know today has this, well, kind of bizarre and messy origin story? So let's go ahead and peel back the layers on this Spud's incredible journey.
And I'm not kidding when I say messy, because that's exactly where our story starts. Before he was a shiny plastic toy, the original Mr. Potato Head was, well, he was literally destined for the compost pile. This wasn't just a toy, it was basically a kit for playing with your dinner. All right, so where in the world did this crazy idea even come from? For that, we gotta go all the way back to a Brooklyn-born inventor named George Lerner. So picture this. It's 1949, and Lerner invents something he calls a funny face kit. But there's no potato in the box. Nope, it was just a collection of plastic body parts with sharp metal pins on the back. The toy's body? Yeah, you had to supply that yourself from your family's kitchen. You literally provided the potato. But this idea hit a massive wall. You have to remember, this was right after World War II. Food rationing was a very recent memory. So the idea of taking perfectly good food and stabbing it with plastic bits for fun, toy companies thought it was completely irresponsible. They basically told him, no way. And Lerner himself said it best. It really seemed like his invention was dead on arrival. But thankfully for all of us, he didn't give up. In a fateful meeting with one small toy company, well, that was about to change everything. Okay, this is where the story really kicks into high gear. After a short time as a prize in a cereal box, Lerner's idea gets into the hands of a company called the Hassenfield Brothers. You probably know them better today as Hasbro. And they had an idea that was frankly revolutionary. On April 30th, 1952, toy history was made. Mr. Potato Head starred in the very first television commercial for a toy, ever. And the result? It was absolutely explosive. Over 1 million kits sold in that first year alone, and the family grew fast. Soon we had Mrs. Potato Head and their kids, Spud and Yam. The impact was just staggering. That one TV ad brought in over $4 million in sales in just a couple of months. To put that in perspective, that's almost $40 million in today's money. The secret wasn't just showing the toy, it was who they decided to show it to. See, for the first time ever, a toy commercial was aimed directly at kids, not at their parents. It completely bypassed the adults and basically weaponized what the industry now calls the nag factor. Mom, Dad, please, please, please. With TVs becoming the center of the home in the 50s, this was a seismic shift. It completely changed the rules for how toys are sold, forever. But even with all this success, our superstar Spud was facing a huge crisis. A kind of smelly, squishy crisis that was going to force a complete and total reinvention. I mean, let's be real. Real potatoes rot. So parents were starting to find these gross, moldy science experiments hiding under their kids' beds. Not great. On top of that, new safety regulations were cracking down on sharp, pointy parts and small pieces that were choking hazards. The solution, which came in 1964, was pure genius. A hard plastic potato body. And once they had that plastic body, oh man, the floodgates opened. Hasbro went wild. The Potato Head universe just exploded with new characters. We got Tutti Frutti Friends and Picnic Pals. You could get Katie the Carrot, Cookie the Cucumber, and my personal favorite, the totally bizarre but amazing Mr. Soda Pop Head. So now that he's solved his whole rotting body crisis, Mr. Potato Head entered a brand new phase of his life. He wasn't just a toy anymore. He was becoming a public figure, a spokesbud, if you will. And his public service record is actually pretty impressive. In 1987, he famously gave up his little pipe to support the Great American Smokeout. A few years later, he ditched his couch potato lifestyle to promote physical fitness. He even got involved in a campaign to encourage people to vote. Our little guy was really growing up. But all of this was all just building to his biggest break yet. After decades of being a beloved toy, Mr. Potato Head was about to become a legitimate, honest-to-goodness movie star. Of course, I'm talking about 1995. Pixar casts him in Toy Story, and the voice they chose was just perfect, the legendary insult comic Don Rickles. He gave Mr. Potato Head this whole new personality, a little cynical, super sarcastic, but somehow totally lovable. It was a match made in a Hollywood heaven. Well, that movie fame launched what I can only call a great potato pandemic. Hasbro just started cranking out these amazing licensed versions. We got Darth Tater for Star Wars. We got Optimash Prime for Transformers, Taters of the Lost Ark for Indiana Jones, and maybe the best one ever, the Iron Man version, Tony Starch. The puns were just chef's kiss. Incredible.
And that pretty much brings us into the modern era, because even a classic, iconic toy has to find ways to evolve and adapt. So in 2021, Hasbro announced a change that got a lot of attention. They updated the brand name to be more inclusive, just Potato Head. Now, they were quick to point out that the classic Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head characters weren't going anywhere. You could still buy them. The idea was just to open up the brand to a whole new world of potato possibilities. Through all these changes, though, from a real vegetable to a TV pioneer to a movie star, one thing has stayed the same: his incredible popularity. Get this, by 2012, over 100 million Potato Head toys had been sold. That's a mind-blowing legacy for an idea that started with a potato from a garden. So, it all leaves you with this one big question, right? After this wild 70-year journey, what's the secret ingredient? What is it about this simple, kind of silly, and endlessly creative toy that gives it such amazing staying power?